One.
Greetings, wrestling fans, and welcome to yet another edition of the Ragin Marks Wrestling Podcast. One of your hosts, Ravishing Randy, joined as always by my good buddy Rampage Ramsey. Ramsey, how we doing, my friend?
It's going, man. After this past weekend, we had some great retirement matches and some okay wrestling.
I would say it was like okay wrestling. I will say that Crown Jewel, which we'll be talking a bit about today, was definitely a bit of an improvement upon WrestlePalooza. But I mean, WrestlePalooza was a one match show, and everything else was kind of meh. Um, this go around, I thought like overall it was better. But yeah, to your point, we had some retirements take place this past weekend. Uh, we had TNA put on a pretty good show in Bound for Glory. I mean, not a bad
Eh,
weekend of wrestling. I mean,
nah.
there was some finishes that you sit there, you kind of scratch your head on, but I think made the right call in putting the belt back on or putting the belt on Mike Santana, getting the belt away from NXT and back on an actual TNA talent. So that was nice to see. Of course, there's the one match that we will be talking about a bit later in the show, but this is a WWE centric show, or that's the company that we talk about quite a bit. So it seems kind of natural that we jump off to them first. And we're actually not going to talk about the show itself, but really what happened after the show.
The aftermath.
Yeah, in the sense that, the way that they have been hyping up that Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins match, there was only one way that it could end, and it was with Seth winning. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He had to win that match. If you were going to take him seriously as a heel, as a person that's on this power trip, try to take over the company, he needed to win that match. And he swore up and down that he didn't need the help of Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed or the Wise Man, that he would do it all himself. But he could actually thank Cody for the assist in getting that win because, Cody, after WrestleMania 40, gifted him with a lovely Rolex watch. And what did Seth use to get the leverage and the upper hand in the match to ultimately seal the victory? The Rolex watch. Use it as a foreign object.
I'm glad because I didn't get to watch. I didn't get to watch that match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen the highlights of what after the match,
Hmm.
but like I got through. Let's see, the entire card except for that match. Then I had some issues with the video.
Yeah, I know you're in kind of a predicament where with the streaming service that you use, you can't watch, or the only way that you can watch some of those events, especially when they're overseas or live when it happens. And
We
so
got
getting up early to try
that
to
wasn't
watch that
happening.
had to be brutal.
It didn't happen. I didn't wake up till like 10:45. I almost missed college game day. In fact, I missed majority of college game day. Go to Saturday, but not like I was able to rewatch. I was able to get the rebroadcast on Wednesday, so I was starting to watch it. But then I had some issues, and then
Well, I mean, I didn't get to watch it live. I had work, but came home from work in between watching college football, caught a bit of the action. But actually, I had a chance to go back and rewatch it. I mean, they had a pretty good match. Of course, the finish controversial, but Seth gets the win. And then we fast forward to Monday Night Raw, or in this case, Monday Morning Raw, because again, they're still in Australia, so 8 a.m. Again, I'm at work, can't watch it live, but um, it was all over Twitter. So when I got home, had to see what happened. Um, the Vision opens the night, and basically Seth is sitting there proclaiming in the ring about how great he is, how he didn't need Braun, he didn't need Bronson, he didn't need the he didn't need the what the shit is Paul Heyman going by these days? Um, he's not the wise man, Anyway, he doesn't need Paul Heyman, doesn't need anybody. He was able to do it himself, and he chooses to bring in these other people into the fold. He doesn't need them, but he chooses them. And you could see Braun Breaker kind of in his feels and like, okay, I'm going to remember that. So then, of course, we fast forward towards the end of the night. We have the triple threat match for, I guess, future title shot, number one contendership between LA Knight, Jey Uso, CM Punk. CM Punk gets the win. Of course, the Brawns come down, wreak havoc, destroy everybody in the ring. Seth comes out basically to celebrate with his boys. And then, this seems to be a big thing in the Triple H era where we, flash the credits. Like, all right, this is the end of the show. That's it. And you see Braun Breaker kind of break away into the corner. And then immediately, as soon as Seth turns around, boom, Braun Breaker nails him with a spear. Paul Heyman looks aghast. Bronson Reed's like, what's going on? Then Braun gets in Bronson's face and is like, hey, man, look, you you choose now. You either come with me on this or you stay with him, but one way or another, you're either on this side or that side. Bronson's like, fuck it, drags Seth to the middle of the ring, hits him with a tsunami. And then Braun does the same thing to Paul Heyman, gets in Paul Heyman's face. It's like, look, you're either along for this ride or you're out. Which way is it going to be? Grabs both gentlemen's hands, raises them above his head as they lord over Seth. And at least from how it appears, it looks like the vision's over and done with. Um, there's some speculation of why we have, expedited this turn because I think everybody knew that a turn was going to come down the road or eventually. But the fact that we're doing it now, there's speculation out there as to why. But I just want to get some of your initial thoughts of the actual betrayal, so to speak, and where do you see this going forward?
I think it started. I think Seth started sprinkling. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bleh. Start sprinkling the speculation that of a turn at Crown Jewel by the way he was talking, and
Mm-hmm.
then how Paul Heyman was talking to Braun and Bronson behind like on a backstage, and you just felt like okay something's going on. Like I think it's the beginning of the story of the breakup. Now, supposedly Seth Rollins did injure his shoulder,
You
and
you could see him, especially during the latter end of the match with Cody, favoring that
when
arm.
he did the coast to coast, when he did the
Mm-hmm.
coast to coast, and he came up, started favoring his shoulder. That's that he hurt it. That's when he injured his shoulder. It's supposed to be the same type of injury as Finn Balor, which
Mm-hmm.
is I think is freaking hilarious.
Full circle
Um,
moment.
but here's the thing: with all the bullshit that he did and WWE did with the fake
The knee
injury,
injury. Mm-hmm.
now do you really believe this shit? But then on Monday they did this turn and they
Well,
went through this
so
because I thought it was early. I'm sitting there and thinking about like it's really early to do this. This should have been like maybe WrestleMania or after WrestleMania.
yeah.
So I'm like, is he really hurt?
Well, because fans spotted him after the Crown Jewel event, like out on the streets, sporting a sling. He had his arm in a sling,
But
and again, but you don't know.
this motherfucker had fucking a freaking knee brace and freaking crutches in July. So like you can never. Well, I'm about to show you all the I am need a haircut. Um, yeah, you see, like my hair doesn't even stick in my hat anymore. The so it's like we don't know. We don't know. it's I don't we don't know. I think we'll
It's
know
it's
by Saturday main event
it's
on November
crazy
1st.
because to me in a way it's crazy, and I mean I get that, like, if he truly is injured, then circumstances kind of dictate, all right, you have to do that, or you have to pull the trigger on it now. But it's just kind of at the same point in time, we were kind of talking before about how do you solidify Seth as like the number one heel. It's like he has to beat Cody. Like the only way that you can legitimize what the Vision is trying to do on Monday Night Raw is Seth has to go over. He does. And so it's like, okay, now we can kind of take the Vision seriously. Because there was a stretch there where they were eating L after L after L. And it's kind of like, and this is something that I hate sometimes when WWE tries to establish a heel group. It's like, I get that heels are ultimately supposed to lose, but at the same point in time, how can I take you seriously as a menacing threat if all you do is get your ass beat?
But on the same night, I'm going to question this too is on the same night that Seth Rollins had his big win, the must needed win, then Bronson Reed had a better win.
With an assist
So,
from Jey Uso.
but but is his win? Well, there was no rules in that fight, so that's
Well,
a
no,
thing.
correct. It's just Jay
But
kind
it's
of cost his
still,
cuz, but yeah.
but when you pin Roman and his shoulders are flat on the ring, that is seems more bigger than you being Cody Rhodes.
I mean, granted, that is the tribal chief, and that was the guy that was the face of the company for so many years, and he's still a face. But Cody, he's not kidding when he calls him or he considers himself QB1 because he is really the guy that is quarterbacking that ship.
Oh yeah,
That's captain in that ship. And so
no
to
doubt
get the
about it.
win over him, it's like, yeah, that speaks volumes. I feel like once you reinsert Roman into that title picture, then you could say, all right, no, ball's back in his court. But um, no, it's crazy that it was an overall great night for the Vision, and that we just follow that up with what goes down on Monday. Um, it's kind of interesting to see where they do go with this from here. Are they, because look at what Survivor Series was potentially supposed to be. All right, yeah, you had the Vision, possibly Brock Lesnar, maybe a fifth TBD going up against a team of like John Cena, uh, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, like, dream team type of deal. And now it's like, okay, well, what
What?
the shit are we doing?
Yeah, I am more lost today about the vision of SummerSlam. I mean Survivor Series than I was before. I am. I have. I was thinking. I kept thinking, what could be? I don't know. The only thing I can say
It
this is, I don't think this is Braun. I don't think this is Bronson's Braun Breaker's vision. Because I've been hearing like all week reading the reports like, oh, Braun, it's going to be Braun Breaker's vision. I don't think so. I think now you have a true Dangerous Alliance stable. I think you have a Paul Heyman stable now. Oh, by the way, who's back in the folds of the WWE? Brock
Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar. Hmm.
And I'm sorry if you put those three guys together, that is an
That
unstoppable force.
that's some killing machines right there. That's some killing machines. No, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where this is going, because whereas before you could almost maybe write it in like chalk, now it's up in the air. But with that said, I just hope it's not we're just going to throw some shit at the wall and see what sticks. Because I know WWE sometimes when they have to pivot, it's kind of one of those things where the payoff isn't there. So I'm hoping um, we're able to make some chicken salad out of chicken shit if Seth is legitimately hurt. Because it is going to be interesting to see what you do with the title then in that point. Punk's got a number one contendership somewhere down the line.
That also confused me because how do you have if you know that he excuse me, if you knew that Seth Rollins was hurt, how did you continue having a number one contenders match when you don't have a match for him if the champion's hurt? So now that
Because
makes a whole different dynamic now because now it's like, all right, so how is this going to get played out? And that's where it gets more and more exciting, where it gets going to get played out in the weeks coming because I would assume that that matchup would have been for Sunday nights for Saturday night main event on November 1st.
mhm.
So now it's like, okay, how are we going to go through this? It kind of makes me like it makes you want to tune back in on Monday. You have to tune back on Monday to see what's the progression of the story.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. No, it'd be interesting to see. And then I mean, that like that was the big storyline coming out of Crown Jewel. I mean, like I had said earlier, I thought Crown Jewel was a pretty good show. I'd give it a solid, B. You had good matches. The Australian street fight match was really good. The story coming out of that, Roman doesn't want to see Jimmy or Jay until Christmas. He's like, no, we're not even going to consider Thanksgiving. He's like, no, we're just don't see me till Christmas. So, um, the women's crown jewel match I thought was really good, even though they only went for maybe a little over 10 minutes. But Stephanie Vaquer ends up getting the win, and so all of the crown jewel champions are on the Raw side. Um, and dude, that Alabama slam that Tiffany Stratton dishes out, that's oof, brutal, man. She lays it in thick. Um, And then we had the women's tag match with Rhea and Io ultimately getting the victory over the Kabuki Warriors. And then they end up looking good on Monday night as well. So kind of rounded out the show. But I'm burying the lead here because I mean the match that was clearly the match of the night was John Cena and AJ Styles. And you actually have had the chance to watch the full match, correct?
I watched the full match twice.
Very good.
Um, Last week we were thinking about doing a show, but then we decided to wait till after the show. And I was telling you that they should have had this be a headline pay per view. That this should be like a boxing thing. That match should have been a PLE onto itself, headlined, and all. It doesn't need a name. Cena, Styles, and then you could have had a paper. You could have had a big time fight feel. Because guess what? This was in the middle of the card, and I felt sorry for everything that happened after the card after this
Anybody that
match,
I had to follow that was going to have a tough task.
and I felt bad for everybody that had gone before it. This was the main event. This should have been the headline. This should have been the big. This should have been a big draw. You
It
could
was a
put the
big
other ones.
draw. Did you not see that sea of yellow and green shirts that were
Oh,
out in the
he.
crowd? Like,
Oh,
dude.
Cena, dude, Cena. Phew, Australia made Cena a more richer man this weekend than he was. But yeah, it's one of those fights where, like I said, it should have been its own PLE. You could have just taken Crown Jewel out of it and put Cena, Styles, 5, because this is the it's 2-2.
Hmm.
This is to see who wins the series. You could have made a special fucking belt for this match.
Cena's
I hate to
already
say
had
it.
enough belts, man. He
No,
doesn't
no,
need
no,
any
no,
more.
no, no, no. But it's how they claim he's the true last champion, right?
Hmm.
And we have AJ, who is something that Cena could not ever. Cena never accomplished what AJ Styles accomplished. You know, Cena, yeah, Cena's a 17 world time champion.
all in one place.
One
Didn't
place.
really didn't really travel the
AJ
world to different promotions.
AJ's
Yeah.
your true world champion. So you could have made a belt, the true champion, and you could have made this fight into a big event, just like so.
I mean,
You know,
I
to me,
every
as a
everything
promoter side, I would have done that.
everything about it though was just like chef's kiss, beautiful. Um, from the intros, which granted, ever since Cena won the 17th championship, he's had that custom ring announcement, where they, never seen 17, the last real champion, etc. Like he's had that for every match since he's won it the 17th time. But then the whole handing the special note card to Alicia Taylor and having her read off for AJ, and AJ having no clue that this is about to happen.
Yeah,
The like some of the descriptors, the true definition of total nonstop action. Um, the the ace and the real leader of the Bullet Club, and the fact that the real boss of the Bullet Club, and the fact that like AJ popped big on the fact that it's like, oh shit, we're mentioning Bullet Club
Bullet
now.
Club.
Like
Yeah,
he was like, holy shit, like and just the fact that John put AJ over like that before the match even started.
I make no grapes that I don't like John Cena, but I commend everything that he did for AJ.
Hmm.
Um, I was like, that's fucking awesome. I mean, that's this whole match. If this was the one match I had to see John Cena, this would have been the match I would want to see.
Yeah, I would say, like take all the heel John Cena stuff out of the equation and then take that Brock Lesnar match. We probably have legit had two of the best John Cena matches of his career in the last couple of months between him and Cody at
Well,
SummerSlam, him and AJ here at Crown Jewel. I would say you could easily say that's probably top 10, maybe even top 5 of John Cena's career.
okay, so my top five for John Cena is much different than yours. I have a top three.
Is it all the times that he got his ass beat by Brock Lesnar?
What? Why would you think? Yes, this I think this is his greatest match to me.
Hmm.
This was the greatest match, but I think I'm not going to call it a wrestling match. I think this was a love story written by both John Cena and AJ Styles to wrestling.
It was definitely a love letter,
It was
um,
a
to to to
great.
both of to both of their careers, and just kind of talking about the journeys that they have each gone down. Because I mean, AJ has made it no secret the fact that he plans to retire in the next year. He plans to retire in 2026. Wants to
Yep.
spend more time with his family, and he feels like he's done everything he possibly could have done in his career, and he's done. He's satisfied. John Cena, of course, is like, look, I'm going to go out on my terms, and now after this match, only 4 more dates of John Cena. I know you're counting down them dates because you're ready to get to zero, but no, like the fact that both of them were able to tell that story in the ring, and there might be some fans that bitch like, oh, it was nothing but a glorified spot fest, but it's like no, yes, there were a lot of spots in the match, but it's like the fact that John Cena can't wrestle a lot of these people that have been a major influence on his career. And the fact that AJ can't necessarily wrestle some of these people on his farewell, the fact that they were able to sit there and pay tribute to the people that were major influences in their career, that was something special and beautiful. And I mean, like I have the list right here of some of the notable spots, but to me, the big one that stuck out was a Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
by John, because like when I say that he hit that with ferocity, I mean, like that was probably the most beautiful Sister Abigail that I have seen outside of Bray doing it himself. Because we've seen others do it, whether it's like Alexa Bliss or um, shit, little brother, Uncle Howdy. Fuck, I can't think of his name right now.
Bo
Um,
Dallas.
Bo Dallas, thank you. You know, like we've seen others do it, and you know, but like that one that John Cena laid in was pitch perfect. And then to see everybody in the crowd, you know, put the flashlights on their phones and the fireflies there, it was a thing of beauty. And you could see even John Cena getting choked up, like seeing it all. So like that was the call out that stuck out to me. And there were others, but what was the one? I know you were a big fan of the Bray Wyatt one, but since I stole your thunder, what was another one that you kind of popped hard for?
I think the Miz. I think I think
Yeah,
I think
that was the
doing
one
that.
that kind of started it all in the match.
I think when he did the skull crushing finale, I think that was like I think that's a big ode to the Miz, and I think that that's something that's missing in wrestling. I think fans don't really respect what the Miz have done. I don't think they hear the stories. They knew about how he was treated in the locker room in the beginning of the time, but I think that was the biggest. Hey, Miz, gotcha. I think that was big on Cena's side, and then the Christopher Daniels and the Frankie
Fallen Angel.
Kazarian,
Yeah.
the multiple spots for Christopher Daniels and Kaz on AJ Styles side, and look Samoa Joe and the Coquina clutch, and then the
Ye-
accolade on Cena. It was just one of those.
Scorpion, the fact that the Scorpion Death Drop actually got name called. We get Sweet Chin music.
But they won't name which what move
They,
did they
they,
not
they, they
name by
wouldn't
name?
name the Scorpion Death Lock.
Yeah,
They named the Scorpion Death Drop.
but they didn't name the for Cena. They didn't name the end of days.
Yeah, yeah, that and that I know that rubbed Bishop Dyer the wrong way. It's like
Yeah,
we know what the fuck it is, just fucking say it. Don't call it a inverted fallout slam or whatever like that. It's like no, it's the fucking end of days. Call it what it is.
yeah. I think that's the one thing I was like, come on, like just name it. Everyone
Yeah.
knows. But like all
The
that, I
fact
mean,
that the fact that the match ended with a tombstone.
I thought that was fitting
Yeah. Well, it's like
because I
AJ was the one that retired Taker in kayfabe. Um, yeah, it was a little fitting in a way, wasn't it?
I think it was fitting. The that was the that and I would say if you want to talk about like philosophy, his facial reaction when he did the choke slam, and it's like people on the internet was debating, well, that's to the Big Show. No, that was Taker, and I'm like, I think it was Taker, Big Show, Kane,
Yeah, you can lump them all together. I
because but
mean,
I think how he hit it when he put his hand up, I was like, oh, that's Kane, and
hmm
then how they did, I was just like, it was an ode. It's just like I said, it was a major thank you. And I come after the match, I sat there and I was like, that should have been his last match. That should have been the last opponent. That should have been the last match. I don't think you can go out. That's go out like John Elway. Go out like Peyton Manning. Go up on top. There's nowhere you can. I don't think you go past this mark. This is
see,
like
but you
a
see,
great
but it
story.
kind of goes completely against though how things are done in pro wrestling, though, right? Because the kind of the common practice is that you go out on your back, like you go out putting over the next person. Now, granted, we don't necessarily want a Austin Theory situation where you put Austin Theory over at Mania and then you do jack shit with it. So it's one of those things that I don't necessarily need to see Cena win in his last match, but I need who he has his last match with to
I
mean something.
see, like to me, I would have booked it where you would have had AJ go. If this was the last match, you have AJ going over and start his retirement tour to hopefully the last match for him is Finn Balor.
Bullet Club
Or
callback. Yeah.
or this is for, and I'm skipping over stuff because it's right on my mind and I want to say it out loud. I want his last match in WWE to be Finn Balor. His second to last match to be Shinsuke, and I want his last match to be in TNA. And I know it's not going to happen how I want it. I want Samoa Joe, if they could figure out a way to make an agreement with AEW to have AJ, Samoa Joe, TNA.
Well, because there is all that fan speculation that Cena's last match should be against Edge. Again, call back to what started it all, or what was Cena's first big rivalry as champion. But getting AEW to get on board with it now, Adam Copeland has stepped away, but apparently it's for a filming project. Not sure if it's a movie or a TV show, but he's currently off filming something. But everybody's like, "Oh, his contract's over. His contract's over." It's like, no, his contract runs until I believe it's October of next year. So no, like clearly it's not Cope, but we can all dream and hope beyond hope that it's Cope, but it's not. It's not going to be Edge. But no, going back though to Cena and Styles. I mean, the fact that you had so many callbacks to, like, for AJ, his TNA foes, and then for Cena, the people in his career in WWE. It was really nice to see that, and definitely by far match of the night, probably one of the top matches of the year if we really break it down.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And the near falls and everything. It was just like, Jesus, what is going to end this match?
Yeah, the when the commentator was reading about how many finishers you can have, how can you kick out of the finishers. I'm like, well, technically they're not their finishers, so
Right.
it's not a finish. You know, he ended the match with his finisher, so it was like, okay, it's I didn't see the big deal. I'm like, shit, if the people that complain about this is definitely the hardcore WWE fans who don't watch AEW because this is AEW at its finest.
Hmm. See, but the difference is with, like, and we well, I was just saying, but we've talked about this before. The difference is for AEW though, it was a spot. It's a spot fest, and, like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy some of those spot fests, but sometimes it's a spot just for a spot and nothing else.
Yeah,
Whereas the spots in this match were telling a story,
yeah,
and paying tribute. So, um, yeah, just to me, it was by far the best thing that happened on Sunday, um, or Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, the best thing that happened on Saturday, and totally worth. I mean, granted, I get ESPN Plus as part of my little, Hulu Disney bundle package, but definitely would have been worth the $30 cost of admission if I were paying for that separately. But as I say, as we see the road winding down for John Cena over in TNA, we have one road that has come to an abrupt end, and that is the road of the Dudley Boys, who officially retired as of Bound for Glory. Um, Great match with the Hardys, which you knew that it would be. It would be a car wreck of epic proportions in a good way. Um, what did you get to watch the match at all?
I got to watch some of the match. I found I found the feed that, come to find out, was not the full match. They
Mm,
missed some of the mark. I was like, what the like? I thought I was gonna watch. Like it was like the only match they cut out parts of, and then I was like, what type of after I watched the damn whole pay per view, and then I get to this, and they cut out a part. So I was like, wait a minute, how did I skip
bastards.
over? Um, the beginning of the match with the call out with for Spike when
Hmm.
they were going to the ring, I think that was a great ode. Give him the glasses. I think that was great. Um,
Fact
the
that the match was called One Last Table, and of course, the Dudleys, like that was their weapon of choice in the old TLC days. The fact that they brought the tables out, but then the fact that as the Hardys make their way out, they're like, no, 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 we're gonna go back. So they run back, and then they're both carrying a ladder, but then Matt's got the chair, and it's like, oh crap. So this is gonna be an unofficial, official
TLC.
TLC match. Yep. Um, So yeah, no, those little call outs at the beginning were nice before the match even started, but um even just watching the bell rings, and it takes them several minutes to actually get into the action because they're just soaking up that Lowell, Massachusetts crowd. Like um the crowd was crazy and up for this match. Um you definitely feel the energy, and fact that like Dudley's just threw all their greatest hits in the first like 3 fucking minutes of the match. It was like bing bang boom. All right, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's actually get to the action in the ring. And let's actually tell the story here. And I mean, and I thought it was a good match. What did you think of the ending? Um, with Bully basically resigning himself to his fate. Just be like, just fucking put me down, old Yeller style.
I think it's a great testament that he takes the fall. Um, it's known Devon has the issues, and
Hmm.
this is the reason why they are. This is why they're officially retired. They technically they stopped wrestling together because of Devon and the issues. Sometime, and they were like, all right, we're just going to do this. We'll do the one last match. Um, I think it's a great test. I I think it proves that Bubba is probably one of the most underrated greats of the business. I don't think he gets his due as much as other wrestlers does. I think I think the ending when they stopped them and then they took off the boots to give both the boots to the
Yeah,
Hardys. I think that's a I think
that
that
was
was a great
visual
uh
and everything, and just a
the
great show of respect.
I, and this is where I have an issue, and this is where WWE, AEW, all these freaking organizations and these grown men, y'all need to understand, y'all have to come together about retirement matches
Hmm.
because the only thing was missing
Edge and
was
Christian.
Edge and Christian.
Yep.
They didn't have
Uh,
to be in the match, but they could have been in
just
the
to be
crowd
there. Yeah,
just
just
to
to
be
be
there.
there. Yeah.
I that and
I will say this real quick, not to cut you off, but you bring up a good point with that. It was very nice, and I know that in TNA they were known as Team 3D, and it was Brother Ray, Brother Devon. They couldn't go by the Dudleys; they had to get creative and everything. But the fact that they were able to be introduced in that match, they were able to wrestle that match as the Dudley Boys and actually be referred to as, Bubba Ray, Devon Dudley. That was huge. I mean, I was glad that like one of the happy accidental byproducts of this TNA and WWE partnership was the Dudleys were able to use their actual fucking name in that match. Sorry,
Yeah,
continue.
yeah. That's the one good thing about WWE pretty much overtaking TNA by force. Um, but yeah, I just think that they need to all come together with these retire matches because there should be no discussions or anything. Hey, like these matches need to have certain people in there. Just follow your pride and go with it. Especially with and this is the problem I have with AEW and with Tony Khan. As much as he's talking about he's a fanboy, he's a big fan of the business. He's the biggest mark in the business. And he's like he loves wrestling. He sure does fuck on it when it comes to certain things. If you're such a fanboy, you do what you have to. You would say, hey, Christian Edge, if you want to go to this match, go to the match.
Yeah, but
No,
it
he
goes
wanted to
both
change. No,
ways.
no, 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 Randy. He wanted to change the business. That's what he said, right? He wanted to
Yes.
change the business, and he has resulted to being just like the WWE, holding back. Oh, we're not going to hold him back from contracts. We're not going to do that. First fucking turnaround he did it. I know
Yeah,
it's a business. I know it's a
I
business.
get it. I
I
get
know
it,
it's a
but
business. But if he
I
wants
get
to
it, but
change the
you can't.
business, he needs to change the business.
But
Change the business.
it
Change the
goes
business.
both ways. It goes both ways. Like Lex Luger could have gotten in trouble if he was shown in the crowd at Sting's retirement match. He had to be off camera because if he was caught on camera, could have jeopardized his WWE Hall of Fame induction. It's shit like that. Both companies do this shit.
Two different. No, 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 no. You forget. You're not listening to what I'm saying. What he said
WWE
was no, no. What he
I
said.
understand you want
No,
to
no, no.
change the business. You also have to have a willing. It's like communication goes two ways. Like
Yeah, it goes two
Tony
ways.
can
But
do.
hey,
Tony
but
can throw it out there. WWE has to be receptive to it, and vice versa. WWE throws a call out to AEW. They have to be receptive to it. Thing
see,
is, they're both antagonistic against each other.
WWE is going to be the unmovable object. If Tony wants to change it, he has to go and change it how he wants to change it, right? And the thing that
Yeah.
I have is the one time when he starts going to say, we're not going to do contracts, we're not going to do this. And he goes, oh, no, we're going to add time to your contract. You're doing exactly what you said you're not going to do, where you're going to change this outcome. He has to take the first step. He has to take the first step and go forth on it. WWE is not going to move because it's WWE. But he could have made a move with TNA. Fuck WWE. He could have made a move with TNA and make
What
it
he
work.
did with TNA was fucked because it was one of those things that AEW TNA partnership could have worked, but
He fucked it.
Tony used it as a platform to basically shit on TNA and be like AEW superior, and that's it. So yeah, like I could understand why TNA was like, this is not a mutually beneficial partnership we have here. Whereas at least with WWE, and I'll say like early on, um, I think WWE benefited more from that partnership than TNA, but you've seen over the course of the last couple of months that it's been pretty even or a nice give and take. Um, you know, it would have been crazy and god damn it, like I know that again, going back to the old, trope of, as a wrestler, your last match or your retirement match, you're putting somebody over. Would have been kind of crazy if the Dudleys had somehow managed to pull off winning that match. And then the fact that that's yet another belt that they can have claimed to hold, being the NXT tag titles as well. That would have been pretty fucking cool because, I mean, they are the most decorated tag team in the history of the business.
Yeah.
To add one more notch would have been cool, but no, I mean the right team went over, and it was another one that is like thought it was a beautiful display. And the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, that match went on second to last. Did it
Yeah, it was
not?
a co. It was a co.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's just like crazy that the crowd was as up for that match as they were. Um, I mean, I kind of feel like with a lot of the shenanigans they did in the main event, especially after Mike Santana had won the belt, kind of, you know, maybe sour the crowd a bit. But the fact that they were up for that match, crowd definitely was a huge part of making that match special.
Oh yeah, it actually was a really good night for TNA. That, like I said, the you said it was a put up a good solid card.
Hmm.
The X Division Championship match was very great. I love the no contest, um, because I mean those two are up and coming. Leon Slater and Evans is phenomenal athletes, phenomenal wrestlers, and you you don't want either one to take a loss, neither one get pinned. I think the no contest was perfect. Um,
Hmm.
I, I I don't. The only thing I'm going to question is the non-gender gauntlet match. I
Oh,
don't
the
like.
Collier shot gauntlet
Yeah,
match.
the
I
ending was kind of like,
the ending I like because I actually sat there and the other day I watched a compilation of like um some of the crazier entrants from the last like 5 years of show the Collier shot gauntlet. And just how it's kind of evolved over time. But yeah, the finish was. I know the fans kind of shit on the finish as well. It was
you have
kind of
two
like you have
you
two
have two winners.
winners.
Like,
Okay, it was like
okay, if you're gonna have two winners, have one female, one male. But said
right.
two males. I'm like, what? That's the one thing I have to say that the bad mark about the night. But it it was a good solid
I mean,
good
there was
thing.
that, and then there was also like to me, I didn't like the ending of the Santana trick match where Santana wins, let him have his moment. Instead, he gets jumped, and he's got to fight those people off. And then he gets to have his moment. But like by that point, the crowd is spent. The crowd is ready to fucking go. And it's
Yeah,
like there was a number of them that had already left by the time we actually got to the celebration. It's like just let him have his fucking moment. Save the jumping and everything for the next TNA Thursday show or whatever. But
yeah, I fully think. I know we're these are the three topics we had. We're done. I'm looking. I had some issues with our ticker up top. Our news ticker up top has the results of the show. It seems like it's not playing everything. So
oh,
I just want to go over real quickly, just some quick hits. Nothing nothing to really discuss or talk about. But if I can't get this up, maybe we're not going to talk about it because my
maybe we
phone's
save it
acting
for
up.
maybe we save it for a future show. Who knows?
Oh, here we go. Real quickly, the PWI top 500 did come out within the last 2 weeks. Uh, just want to go over real quickly the top 10. Cody Rhodes is for the second year in a row number one number one wrestler.
You all
Um,
right over there?
yeah, I put my phone in and it just slid. I was like, I want like when to catch it. Um, Number two, John Moxley. Number three, Gunther. Number four, Hangman Adam Page. Number five, Hiroki Goto. Number six, Jey Uso. Seven, Swerve Strickland. Eight, Seth Rollins. Nine, Mystico. 10, Will Ospreay. And
I am surprised that John Moxley was number two.
he had
I
the
get
title
that.
for so long.
I get it, but Jesus Christ, was that? Ugh. It's like
You're,
that's my big thing with AEW right now is like so AEW's next pay per view is going to be this coming weekend, and like one of the matches that we have on the card is an I Quit match between Darby Allin and John Moxley, and it's like you would think that after Hangman Adam Page beat John Moxley for the belt that would be the end of the Death Riders. John Moxley would go the fuck away for a little while, like get a refresh, take a vacation, something. But no, they're all still there. So it's like, what the fuck was the point? I thought the point of the Death Riders was that they were going to protect the belt at all costs and protect the championship for John Moxley, and they were going to change AEW. It's like, what the fuck have they changed? And it's like, this past week, or it was like 2 weeks ago, fucking Darby Allin lit John Moxley on fucking fire. And he's back out the very next fucking week doing whatever. So it's like, what the shit is he going to have to do to make John Moxley say, I quit? It's
I don't know.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
I
crazy.
am going to say this: the PWI. I have a big problem with them discounting NXT because it is a damn shame that Obi Femi is not in the top 10, and it's a damn shame that Joe Hendry is not in the top 10. And I even go further with Trick Williams not being in the top 10. If you're going to look at Trick Williams, who actually had the NXT and had the TNA
TNA.
championship, what are we doing? What are we doing in the top 10? But like Joe Hendry, the career, the last 2 years he had, there's nobody hotter. There was nobody hotter than him. And then Obi Femi, like he could, who like he's he's just gonna go straight up. I think he needs a mouthpiece, but but goddamn, what he does in the ring,
Hmm.
he's another Brock Lesnar. I'll be quickly. And after that, it would be the other news would be like WWE. Stop me if you hear this. You heard this before. WWE released more talent in NXT. Really, the only headliner on there was Wes Lee, who was the
I mean, like,
second longest North American champion
yeah, I
in
mean,
history.
looking at it, that was the only name that jumped out at me. Everybody else, I was like, who, what? Okay.
There was a Bloodline member, younger brother Anoli,
Yeah, yeah, I did see that
got
too,
cut.
but yeah.
But other than that, Wesley was the biggest one. But I think his talents TNA wise, I think TNA might be the best solution for him.
Hmm.
But other than that, nothing big yet. But from what I heard, there might be some more releases upcoming for the main roster.
I was gonna say, I mean, shit. TKO is making money hand over fist right now. I mean, it's
I think that's a whole show that we talk about, like how wrestling is outpricing, how WWE is outpricing their fans. Because right now, I'm like, if you're a fan of WWE, you already know you got to have Netflix, you got
mhm,
to have ESPN, you got to have Peacock, you got to have some way to get to USA Network, and then you got to make sure you find your bunny ears to find the CW.
mhm,
We have to go through five freaking stations to get all our five sources to get our WWE content, where around the world it's just one.
yep,
And it's
but
how surprisingly we in the United States are getting outpriced on shows like a family of four cannot you cannot take your kids to a wrestling match without
yeah,
paying ridiculous amount of money, and that's just not with
it,
and
it's
it's just
getting
not
it's
with
getting
wrestling, it's with everything.
it's getting to, yeah, well, yeah, because that was a big talking point that we had off air last week when we were considering possibly doing a show, that we could make a show about that in and of itself. Just that it's starting to cost now to go to a WWE premium live event, the same as most families would spend to go on a big family vacation. It's fucking
Yeah.
crazy that it's kind of getting to that point.
So with that, at the end of the show, we are going to announce that we did have a podcast a couple years ago called Fat Banter Sports. We are bringing that back. Yeah, it's going to be more talk about sports outside of wrestling. All wrestling content will be on this channel. but we'll be talking more about sports. Big Kevin from Fat Banter also will be joining us on some shows. Um, but the topic about sports being priced out, especially WWE, UFC, NFL, NBA, that's going to be under that. We're going to be doing a panel um, on that show about topics like that because I think that's a big talking point because every sport is doing it. It's just in America itself is being priced out. So
Hmm.
join us, but also
Stay
join us
tuned
on.
for that. Yeah, stay
But
tuned for
join
that.
us. We will be having a show coming out at the same time as this podcast gets debuted. We'll be putting out one of our first new shows for Fat Banter, and it's about coaching, about the coaching changes in the NFL and college football.
Hmm. Be looking forward to doing that in the next few minutes with you after we wrap this one up. But I was gonna say, anything else you want to add real quick before we sign off?
No,
No.
I think I have our. I'm going to throw this out there. The theme for next episode is I think it's going to be who you think the next champions are for each belt.
Hmm. Definitely do a segment on that. I mean, there's a lot of interesting talking points that are going to be coming up. It mentioned AEW's got a pay per view this coming weekend. NXT has Halloween Havoc next Tuesday, so
No, it's not.
definitely.
It's a PLE. They
Really?
made it a PLE. Yeah.
Fucking A. About goddamn time.
From
Well,
from what I heard that it was a plan. It was a PLE. It was not a NXT regular show.
either way, that will be yet another talking point of ours for when we reconvene. So that'll do it for this week's edition of the Raging Marks Wrestling Podcast. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Get the word out there. And for Rampage Ramsey, it's Ravishing Randy signing off.
See ya.